En este momento recibimos en la cabina de Hola Toronto a la diputada Julie Dzerowicz. Ella es la representante por Davenport. Fue elegida en el año 2015 y luego fue reelecta en el 2019 y en el 2021 y ahora está buscando un cuarto periodo. Bienvenida, Julie.
Gracias por la invitación.
Bueno, Julie habla español, yo digo que bastante bien.
No, muy malo, pero voy a intentar.
Pero lo vas a intentar, pero siéntete libre de hablar en inglés también cuando tú lo quieras. Julie, como dije, has sido ganadora ya en 3 periodos consecutivos en tu riding, en tu distrito electoral de Davenport. Uh-huh. ¿Por qué los habitantes de tu distrito deberían elegirte una cuarta vez?
Uh-huh. Pues hay 2 razones. There's 2 key reasons why I'm running again for the 4th time. The first reason is because President Trump is no normal president right now. We have someone who has started economic warfare, not just on Canada, but on most major economies around the world. Mm-hmm. But we are going to be most impacted because 78% of our trade is with the United States right now. So I've decided I'm running. We've changed our leaders, and we have an extraordinary leader in Mark Carney. He not only has the financial and economic background that we need at this particular moment. He has not only been in the public service working in finance for almost 30 years. He became the governor of the Bank of Canada here in Canada. He then became the governor of the Bank of England, the first foreigner ever asked in the history of all of the United Kingdom. And then on top of that, he also has business experience. He was also the climate champion for the UN, and he has been working on housing issues. So we have someone of great quality that is meeting the needs of the moment here in Canada. The second reason is I want to protect all the gains we've made for the last 9.5 years. In my distrito de Davenport, it is childcare is vitally important because it saves families between $11,000 and $13,000 per child per year. Dental care for our seniors, that has been a game changer for our seniors. So we've introduced many, many programs, but I want to protect the gains that we've made for the last 9.5 years, and that's why I'm running.
Julie, en las últimas elecciones, tu distrito electoral, el de Davenport, fue uno de los más competitivos. Uh-huh. La diferencia de votos entre la candidata del NDP y tú fue mínima, o sea, fueron, creo, 76 votos de diferencia. Yeah. Por eso se ganó ese riding. O sea que el NDP es o era muy fuerte en tu distrito electoral, pero ahora estamos viendo una tendencia de votantes del NDP yéndose hacia los liberales. ¿Tú crees que eso está pasando en tu distrito también? ¿Y por qué está sucediendo eso? ¿Por qué hay votantes del NDP en este proceso que se están yendo hacia el Partido Liberal?
So you're right. It was a very close race in the last election. I would say to you, though, we had a lot of voting irregularities. Mm-hmm. So we have a new returning officer team that the Elections Canada has assigned. The thing is, I think that all of the rules of normal elections have completely been taken off. So like the gloves are off and it's a completely different election. You're hearing from pollsters to say they've never seen anything like this before. People who used to vote NDP are either voting conservative or liberal. Mm-hmm. Liberals who had decided they're never voting liberal again and we're going to go conservative are coming back to liberals, and many of the conservatives are coming to the liberals. Right now, it really is about leadership. People are very scared. They're very scared about what they're seeing. We have a lot of small business owners in my riding of Davenport. It happens right across our city. Small business owners, they don't like the unpredictability. And so because they don't like unpredictability, they're looking for someone that they can trust, who not only will have an action plan, but also know the steps that need to be taken to be able to stabilize the Canadian economy and be able to deal with Trump. And so I think you're right. And the last election's been close. The last 3 elections has been close for me. This election's very different. And it's still going to be a tough race to win. And even though I'm running for the 4th time, I run like I'm running for the very first time. I'm a very hard worker. It's a part of my Mexican background. We work very hard. We never take anything for granted. We don't take any vote for granted. And so I will be fighting very hard to win again for the 4th time.
Acabas de mencionar tus raíces mexicanas. Julie entiende también el español porque su madre era mexicana. ¿Es así?
Sí, es la verdad. Creo que mi primera lengua era español, porque mi madre cuando ella
llegó al país.
Sí, llega aquí a Canadá, pues tomó mucho tiempo para aprender inglés, y por eso creo que en mis primeros años era solamente en español.
Bueno, pues lo entiendes muy bien. Y también tú presides, además de ser la representante de Davenport, tú presides el Caucus Nacional de Inmigración y Refugiados. Sí. Y por eso quiero preguntarte por el tema de la inmigración, porque la actual política migratoria liberal, aunque los liberales siempre han sido muy abiertos hacia el tema de la inmigración, pues se han establecido restricciones, sobre todo durante el último año. ¿Cómo tú definirías ahora la política migratoria del Partido Liberal y cómo tú crees que será esa política en los próximos años? Porque en este momento es más difícil para los inmigrantes lograr la residencia permanente. ¿Cómo lo ves tú en este momento?
So I'm happy to answer that question, but I'll also say to you, I've also became the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
With a focus on consular services and Latin America. Mm-hmm. So I will be if I'm blessed to be reelected, I'll be very focused on Latin America, and immigration will be one of our top issues. Look, I'm a very big supporter of immigration. Over 9.5 years of a Liberal government, we have massively brought in a historic amount of new immigrants and refugees. We have actually had to put a pause into our system over the last year, and the reason is because we had many people take advantage of our international student program. So that's part of our immigration. So we have a lot of international students here that came in through program, and they're not real international students. So they're really not taking real programs. They were fake programs. So what's happened is we lost some credibility in our immigration system. And what happens is now we have a lot of international students right here. So what our last Minister of Immigration has done, which was Mark Miller, he actually dramatically cut our international student rate. What we're doing is then what we're trying to do what we call internal immigration. So of the international students, if you have studied in areas like construction, healthcare, areas where we desperately need to fill jobs, then we are trying to make sure we're doing some internal immigration. Yeah. And then what we're doing is saying now let's stop still and see whether or not we need more immigrants. So we've reduced our immigration levels from around 500,000 to around less than 400,000. But that's temporary. It's because we have to reestablish credibility in our immigration system. We have to make sure that we're fixing the issues around the international student issue, and then we have an extra number of people within our country, and what is it that we're going to do there? The other issue we're not doing a good job, and it very much impacts the Hispanic community, is they come here, whether different parts of Latin America, from Mexico, from Spain, we're not appreciating their credentials fast enough. So what's happening is they're coming here and they're taking jobs that are not at their education level. And so typically, just so you know, the credentialing happens at the provincial level, or it happens like the Canadian Medical Association or the, Canadian Engineers Association does the credentialing. Our federal government, what we're trying to do during these very difficult times where we're facing the Trump tariffs, one, we're trying to not only eliminate interprovincial trade barriers and regulations, so it allows goods and services to grow and companies to grow across Canada, but also for people to move across Canada. For us to be able to do that, we have to be able to credential people much faster. So if you come here as an accountant, it shouldn't take you another 4 years to be able to get your credentials. It might take you a year of qualifications, where I'm not sure what the qualifications will be, but what we're trying to do is make that faster. It's become a massive priority for our government. So the message to everyone is we have some temporary immigration issues that we're trying to fix. 2, we're working much faster on the credentialing. We have to, or because if we're not putting the people that are here to work, then we are going to be in trouble on top of the impact of the tariffs. The last thing I'll say to you is we made a big announcement that we are going to have a pathway for citizenship for construction workers who are here illegally. A pathway to citizenship for construction workers who are here illegally. The number we're giving is up to 6,000. We may have to go more than that. What we're looking for is people who have jobs, they're already established here, they already have homes, people who've been here for years, people who have families. That is something that we are prioritizing. So that's the other big thing that we are doing right now.
Muchos dicen que esta es la elección más importante de las últimas décadas.
That's right.
¿Cómo hacemos para que la gente vaya a votar? Porque mucha gente ve apatía en el sistema, o sea, no se siente simpático ir a votar, a veces con un sistema político que muchas veces queda como ajeno a la gente en general, ¿no? Entonces, ¿cómo le podemos dar ese mensaje a la gente, la importancia de ir a votar, sobre todo en estas elecciones?
So thanks. That's an excellent question. So look, my mom and my father came here because they were looking for a safe country to be able to build a home. They were fleeing a place that they did not feel their rights were respected, or they could actually build a family. And I would say most Canadians, and particularly many from Latin America, or those that are coming from the Latin American and Hispanic community, they've come here. Canada's sovereignty is currently at stake. We are under threat by President Trump. This is a very serious issue. So it's not only an economic issue, but it's also our sovereignty. He really wants to make us the 51st state. So that's why I would say to people came here because they wanted to live in freedom. They wanted to have a safe place to build their families so that they could have good paying jobs, their kids could have really good futures. We've built an amazing country. We have one of the best countries in the world to live in. So I say to people, there's a debate that's coming on tonight. It's the English language debate. I really encourage people to watch. The reason I'm going for Mark Carney is I need an adult. I need someone who's calm. I need someone who has experience, who doesn't just say, I have a plan, I'm going to write on a sheet of paper, but who knows what to do. He's been the governor of the Bank of Canada. He understands the bond markets, the mortgage markets. He understands the stock markets. He knows, and he's also been a business leader. So he knows what he needs to do to be able to stabilize the Canadian economy. And while we're being attacked from the US, the best thing we can do right here in Canada is we need to be able to strengthen ourselves internally, support our small businesses, provide supports to the workers that are going to be impacted. And then what we have to do is use the trade agreements to actually now redirect the trade from the US over to places like Europe, parts of Asia and Australia. So what I'd say to you is we are facing an existential crisis. It is important. Our sovereignty is at stake. So it's important for people to be voting. And I'd also say to them is all the programs that we have introduced over the last 9.5 years are at risk. Our dental care plan, our child care, national child care, our Canada Child Benefit, our disability benefit, the increases for old age security for our seniors. All of those things will be at stake if we are not able to stabilize our economy and be able to move forward. And that's why this is the most important election, at least in my lifetime.
Julie, si los liberales ganan, ¿a ti te gustaría jugar un rol en el gabinete del primer ministro Carney?
Yes, oh, for sure. Look, I have 2 business degrees. And so in our previous 9.5 years, our former prime minister focused a lot on programs and climate change and reconciliation. I'm very proud of the progress we've made. Now we need to focus on jobs and economy, and that's very much up my background. So look, I will be privileged to take any role, any cabinet role that is offered to me if I'm privileged to be able to get a role. But anything to do, whether it's the business community or even if I continue to have some sort of focus on Latin America, there's a lot of untapped potential from a business perspective and a cultural perspective between Canada and Mexico, Latin America, and all the Hispanic and Latin American parts of the world.
Julie, muchas gracias por haber venido.
Okay.
Muchas gracias por haber estado con nosotros.
Okay.
Gracias por el mensaje. Esperamos que la gente vea el debate esta noche y participe de las elecciones. El ejercicio de la democracia es uno de los grandes privilegios que nos da este país.
Sí, gracias por la invitación. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Julie.
Señor.